If you practice this and get all your groundwork done and good, it'll take less. Your horse will understand, know that you're the leader and get them through things. Now, there's a big difference between your horse being with you maybe because you have a cookie or they're going to get something from you, and choosing to be with you because you're the leader. How to help your horse make the horse-human connection. How to keep them focused and draw their focus to you. That's the most important part of your relationship, is having your horse seek you out to make the connection. And how do we control that connection? How do we recognize the connection when we start making it? If you follow kind of this series of things that we've been working on, you'll see the steps I've had to make this connection. And the connection, once you begin to make it, you'll be able to maintain it. When they lose focus on you and look at something else, you'll be able to bring it back. Not just when you're on the ground, but when you're riding. How do we maintain that focus? Maintaining that focus and that connection will help our horse not be scared or spooky of things. If they are, it's not going to be a big deal, a big ordeal. You'll be able to draw their focus back. Or if you see something while you're riding you know that your horse is going to be afraid of, you'll be able to draw their focus back to you and redirect it somewhere else and minimize the chances of having a real wreck. But this is the horse I want to have a relationship. He's actually looking to me now and asking me questions and seeking me out instead of the other horses over here. The wind's blowing, things might moving around. There's, whatever else is going on, it doesn't matter. But kind of go over that with you today a little bit. Tell you how I got that started. Well, making the connection starts with absolutely the basics. My horse has to not be afraid of any of my tools. So I've got to get that over first. I've got to make sure I've got that. Okay? So we start there by getting him good with some of these things, good with all of these things. Your relationship will not grow if your horse is afraid of your tools. That's number one, the most important thing. What else can I do? Can I throw the lead rope up over his back? So just because your horse is standing quietly doesn't mean he's engaged with you. I want his ear, see his eyes blinking. I want him thinking about me. Very good. Now I have to be able to have the control over all the body parts. I need to be able to move his hindquarters. Having a good hindquarter yield, having him step across. He shuffled there. That wasn't good, but that's okay. We'll get there. He actually then reached out to me to make a connection, to ask if he was good. Okay, so he's licking and chewing, so he's thinking. So he's replaying that over in his mind. I need to be able to move his shoulder over. Okay? Have him go somewhere. Now there's a big difference between your horse's curiosity, whether they're going to come see you, and whether they're seeking you out. The trick is to be a leader, to constantly be in focus, constantly be aware of them, constantly know what they're doing. Is his ear on me? Is his eye on me? Is Is he worried about something over there and not me? Because here's what happens. Your horse can see out of both eyes at the same time, but they can only mentally focus on one eye at a time. That's why people get run over, because if something scary's going on over here, this ear's focused on it, maybe this ear's back, this ear's over here. They're looking out of this eye, they're focused out of this eye. And then when it scares them, they jump on top of you because they don't even see you. They don't know you're there. So knowing that I can keep this eye in focus by moving his body parts, especially his hindquarters, will help me make this connection. Help him make the connection. Now when he looks at me, I have to acknowledge it. I've got to let him know that I see that he sees me. I've got to let him know that he knows. So when I reach out to him, if he lifts his head, I might just pause for a second, or actually wait for him to reach out to make the connection with me. Attaboy. But moving the body parts will put you in a leadership role. You never, ever, ever let your leadership role go. You never hand that back over to them. That's how you keep them focused on you. Okay? And change things up. But you have to ask yourself, does my horse come to me because he wants something from me and then ditches and leaves? Or does he come to me because he feels safer around me, because I am the leader? Okay, so in the horse herd, I guess years ago when I was a kid, I got to work at a really cool place. We had a couple hundred head of horses, and we fed them every day. And they were in a couple 100-acre paddock or field. So we went out on a tractor and a wagon, and we threw bales of hay, or actually flakes of hay out. We loaded the whole wagon up with hay, and then we loaded the wagon up with ears of corn. So we would ride along, and it usually took 3 people. One to drive the tractor, and 2 to shovel corn and throw hay. So there's little piles as they scattered out across the field. Well, the herd, all 150, 200 head, would vie for the spot with corn and hay. Well, the pecking order would change day to day. The first 5 and the last 5, that would change pretty much all the time. The first 5 were always fighting to see who was going to be the leader. The last 5, the oldest, weakest, less dominant horses, were always worried who was going to be last and who wasn't going to eat as much, because everybody else ate before they did. The horses in the middle of the herd weren't fighting for who was getting the last, and they weren't fighting for who was getting the first. They just kind of hung out, were all pretty cool and relaxed, and would just pick a spot and go to eating. And if somebody run them off, they just stepped to the next pile. But they were the calm, relaxed bunch of the herd. They just didn't have a real care in the world. And it was pretty cool. I saw, for several years, I watched that transpire twice a day, every day, and got to see how that actually works. So when you're the leader, your horse will take that middle of the herd mentality. They'll hang out, be quiet, relax. They're not worried about things. If they feel like you're too dominant, they're worried about being the last. And if you're not a leader, they're worried about who is going to be the leader. If you're not going to be, they will. And if they're going to take matters into their own hands and be constantly worried about their safety, because the lead horses in the herd are looking out for the safety of the rest of the herd. That's how horses think and feel. That's their innate instinct. So if they're in the middle, they're not getting ate by the lion, and they're up front, they're not up front, they're not having to fight the lion. So think about that. So your first priority with your horse is to be the leader. And being a good leader takes practice and time. So if Tucker were to look, or his focus would go somewhere else, wherever his focus would go, I would go to the opposite hindquarter and move it around until he looked at me. When he looked at me, I'd say, yeah, that's what I need. Maybe can you back up? Maybe can you move left and right? But wherever he looks, I'm going to the opposite hip and move that hip around. So when he looks left, I go right. When he looks right, I go left. And when he focuses on me, I relax. Okay? So if you're leading your horse, here he's looking over his right shoulder, I'm going to his left hip. Atta boy. So if you're leading your horse, and I'm walking along here, and those blue barrels are scary, I gotta be more important to him than those blue barrels. I gotta have his focus out of this eye on me at all times. And I'm gonna do what it takes. You got to make a difference. You gotta do what it takes. But if you practice this and get all your groundwork done and good, it'll take less. Your horse will understand, know that you're a leader and get them through things. Now, there's a big difference between your horse being with you maybe because you have a cookie or they're going to get something from you, and choosing to be with you because you're the leader. The horse chooses to be with the leader because it's their instinct too. And they look for that leader. They look for someone that's talking their language, that speaks the way they know, that understands them, that they recognize that you see when they have a concern, or when they look at you and you let them know that you recognize that you know they saw that they saw you. But that's the whole key. That's the whole key to getting your horse to help make the connection. It's not micromanaging them. It's giving them a choice, but guiding their choice to make the right choice, the choice that you're asking. It's being constantly aware. It's kind of like taking a 5-year-old to the county fair. And you're walking with them. You wouldn't just walk off and hope they followed you. You'd take them by the hand. You're going to watch them like a hawk every second. It's the same way with your horse. If you drop your horse emotionally, you leave them behind, they don't care what you had to think. They have to now take matters into their own hands, and they have to now take care of themselves, and they understand that. So just like the 5-year-old at the county fair, when there's hundreds of people and you don't have a clue who they are, you're watching that child like a hawk. You got them by the hand. You're going to make sure they're safe. You're going to make sure nobody messes with them. So when you're working with your horse and there's other horses around, you kind of guard their space. You keep them safe. And that goes a long way with them looking at you as somebody worthy to be with and spend time with. But I see so many people, they don't ever take their horse with them. They don't ask them to go. They're leading them or pulling them along. They don't ask them to walk with them. And you'll see people even riding. Wherever you look, you take your horse's head with you. I see a lot of people, they're smiling, take a picture, and they're looking over here, and their horse is looking over there. They don't even have a clue. You have to be present for your horse 100% of the time. And if you work at that, it'll get easier and easier and easier. The things that we do, that we practice, become second nature, and you don't even think about it. Because like right now, I'm looking at you guys, but I see him out of the corner of my eye. My eye is focusing on him. I'm watching his ears move around. I'm keeping an eye on where he is, and I'm always checking back in with him. So if he goes to sleep, I might say, "Hey, are you still with me?" But it's a full-time job. It gets easier as you go. But that's part of being a horseman, is being aware of your horse all the time. And that's when usually you'll see people when they drop their horse off, when they leave them emotionally, because we put too much responsibility on our horse to try to take care of us or be with us. It's our job to ask them to be with us and take care of them and take them along with us. Okay? So when he's not, I'm going to ask him to move his hind end. The better I have his hind end moving and stepping over, the better the more relaxed he'll be. So I had to kind of wake him up, didn't I? He was going to sleep. Well, that's what I want. I throw a little energy behind him. Now, he's been hanging out. I haven't done anything with him today. He's just been fed, and we cleaned his stall and petted him in the stall. Well, we're going to check what our relationship is. Now, working at Liberty is something that you do in small doses. Now, he wants to go to my left. Maybe I'll yield his hindquarters and say, "Can you go to my right?" "I want you to come over here." "That's okay." "Atta boy, that's where I want you to be. So can you go over here now?" Because seeing me out of his right eye is a little hard. "Hey, can I get your hind end back over? Can I get you to look at me?" What a good guy. So do small bits of it. And if you saw my first couple videos of how he was when we first started, you'll see this is a big progress. What a good boy. I'm going to help you out here. Come over here and touch him on the forehead and say, "Hey, can you come on, go with me?" Atta boy. All right, I'm going to send you off. Can you go around a little bit? Okay, you made it halfway. You're making it. So this is a building process. He's unsure. Now every time he stops, I'm going to throw a little energy behind him and back up. Try to draw him in. I know that wind's a little whippy. Can you come in and see me? Which is a big improvement from the other day. I know, you're just not sure. Well, that's a good boy. There you go. So it takes time to build the relationship. It takes time for them to make the connection. Okay, the connection's important. You can't get it by loving them. You can't get it by feeding them. You can't get it by giving them treats. But you can get it by being the leader. Okay? Because here's the thing. Using treats to get them, you can't appease a horse with treats. Because if they're scared, they're still going to run away. But if you're the leader and they're scared, they know you're the safe place, so they'll look to you to come be safe at, okay? They'll look to you for safety. So they'll pick you. Atta boy, now can you go? Come on, you can go. Fast. Atta boy, fast. He likes that gait, doesn't he? Now you got to keep it going. You go around the circle. Are you going to come over here? Yeah, come on over here. I'll walk with you. Whoops. There we go. He says the gate's where we go. You gotta keep going. Okay. Come on. Very good. We'll build on this. Yeah, you're getting it. You're getting it. How about just walk with me? You know this. We worked on this the other day. You got it. You're getting it. And away he goes. It's not if they leave you. Can you get them back? What a good guy. I know. There you go. If you do anything with your horse, work on making the connection. Connection first. And everything else will come together. If you watch his little library, you'll see how far he's come in just a few days. So we just got him out of the stall and played with him this afternoon. And this is the horse I'd rather ride and work with. I'd rather you take time to get your connection and your groundwork done good instead of ride. Because ride, you can't make this. This will not happen just by riding. But when you get this, the riding improves exponentially. All the things that you do will get better and better. So thanks for watching. I hope you like what you see. I hope you come to one of our clinics. Thanks. Talk to you later. Yeah. Let's go, big guy.